first of all, we're looking at we're reading scripts or treatment or a pitch, and the first criteria is this what our customers are expecting? Is this something that can surprise them and that they will want to watch? And the second thing, and this is what Sarah said earlier, is to sit with the producers, with the talents, directors, the writers, and to make sure that we all have the same vision and that we'll work toward the same goal.
What are some of the criteria you're looking at? And one of the things we all know about is the algorithm, of course. What's the thought process when you're looking at something to go ahead with it?
Do we look like an algorithm?
I really wish there was a robot to read the script for me. No, unfortunately, we try to contribute differently and be additive, like Tama was saying, but we're not reinventing the wheel on how we make films. I mean, these guys, they do films for us the same way as they do films for others, and it's the same for us. I come from the film industry before Netflix, and it's the same process, creative process of reading scripts and falling in love with the story and see if it takes a tremendous amount of alignment of stars and a bit of luck for a film to happen. So it needs to be first and foremost a creative process on both sides, and it's the same for us. Again, it would save me some time to have algorithms work for me, but unfortunately that doesn't exist.
And I think, first of all, we're looking at we're reading scripts or treatment or a pitch, and the first criteria is this what our customers are expecting? Is this something that can surprise them and that they will want to watch? And the second thing, and this is what Sarah said earlier, is to sit with the producers, with the talents, directors, the writers, and to make sure that we all have the same vision and that we'll work toward the same goal. I think if you have those two criteria, then we can start the conversation.
Yeah, okay. We're going to come to some audience questions in about 5 minutes. If you have a question, put your hand up and we'll have a microphone coming over to you. But I just wanted to ask you also a little bit about the volume of applications that you get, submissions you get from filmmakers out there. I mean, can you give us an idea of how many submissions you get? Is it going up? Is it plateauing?
A lot.
Another NDA?
A lot. No, but there are a lot of people in the market who wants to tell stories, so they know how to reach out to us. Yeah, a lot, and it's a growing number, I would say.
And it is a growing number. We're working to try and get back to our partners as quickly as possible, but it's a lot to manage, especially now that we have a larger contribution to the financing of films also that go into theaters. But I say that without any complaint. It's great to be able to be on this end and see the talent pool is in France. We're very, very lucky in France. The talent pool is very wide, and there's a lot to choose from, and that's a luxury as far as I'm concerned, for sure.
And I think one mission for us is also for the producers to understand who are the right POCs for each type of movies. Like, we have a growing team on the creative side, but on the acquisition side also, with people that will work, as Sarah was saying, on pay-to movies, because we now, and we are super happy, are going to finance a theatrical movie too. So the key is for them to have a local team. for us to get fast to answer to them, and for them to understand who they have to speak to.
And I want to add to that. I think there's, like Julia was saying earlier, there's a lot to say about know who your audience is on the producer front as well. Meaning, if you want to talk to Prime or Netflix, watch what we're doing, watch the local language stuff we're doing, what we're into, and because there are some trends, we want to widen our offer as much as possible, but there are certain things that appeal to our audience, and you can start learning that just by watching what's on the service, really.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask our producer friends, coming from a world of making theatrical content, what are your expectations about possible theatrical releases for your films? We know that the streamers will do theatrical uplift releases sometimes. Is that something you're expecting with these films? Have you made your peace that the film will go straight to a platform and not get a theatrical release? Marina, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's again, it's an opportunity to create movies for a different screen, and we will work together on both way, as for traditional movies going to theaters, we will also now be working with Netflix, with Prime, thanks to the new media chronology, where we can negotiate windows. So I think we are more into create original platform and doing movies for theaters. It's two different way of working, and for us, it's not. When we decide to work with streamers for a direct-to platform, we know that this movie will not go to theaters. And we work together on a different way. And of course, our main producing activities will remain doing movies for theaters, that's for sure. But again, it's complementary. So we're not trying to have these movies on theaters. It's different, and we have another way of working together for these movies. So.
Yeah, I think that's something that's become understood more now, that these two different ways can coexist and live together. Julien, Lionel, do you have any thoughts about this? There are certain films that you are happy to collaborate with the streamers, knowing that we'll just get a streaming release only, no theatrical. You're at peace with that?
Yes, as Thomas said at the beginning, it's really a new opportunity and a different. It's a new partner we can get. So, as Marine said, there will be movies going to theaters pre-buy by a platform, and probably one day, I don't know, there will be full originals with a theater release. I think that's the sense of the history, to have all this mix.
One more question from Serge, of course.
I have a question for the three producers. Obviously, you are very experienced in making movies. Do you have any advice for the audience? Some mistakes to avoid when addressing something to streamers?
Yeah, one advice, which comes along what was said earlier, the question of the alignment of the understanding of what the movie is, and I would say specifically with the talents, I think as a producer you have to be very transparent and clear vis-à-vis your talents, whether it's a director or directors, a screenwriter, and also actors. They need to know what the path, is going to be in terms of the development process, the production process, the editing process, so that there is no misunderstanding, in terms of the involvement of the streamers team, etc. I think as long as they know what they have to do and how they have to collaborate is quite key. If not, I think the risk becomes that, as you know, Sarah was saying earlier, that you have a movie in mind, your creators have a movie in mind, but the streamer, doesn't understand exactly that, we're all making the same film, and that's when I guess problems could arise. So I would say the earlier the communication with your talent on that, and then the road, should be fine.
Yeah, you're right. I completely agree with what Lionel just said. The writing process, the development process is very crucial to be on the same page when we enter into production, and I think we really have these mutual feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been sharing, following our first experience of this, how important it is to be working in transparency and take the time during development and during this written phase.
Julien, did you want to?
The advice would be, as we said earlier, to be sure the project is a project that fits with the streamer, because if you send a project that doesn't fit at all, well, as Sarah said, she has a lot to read, so she read one, and then the second one she will say, okay, the guy really doesn't understand at all what we are looking for, and then the third one will go directly to the garbage. So I think that's know the audience, understand what they are looking for. That's the first advice.
Great, I think that's it. Look, Sarah, Thomas, Marine, Lionel, Julien, thank you for your time and your insights, and thank you all for coming and for your questions.